Hello everyone, today I've been invited by the devs at Punkzilla to give my first impressions of their game Combo Devils, a new fighting game that's meant to be the bridge between traditional and platform fighters. If you enjoy fighting games, this video is for you. A big thank you to Nikita, the animation director for the game, for reaching out and allowing me early access to review your game. A brief preface before we begin. With the many non-Smash platform fighters in the world nowadays, I've had my fair share of trying them out, but not much has stuck. I've played Multiverses a lot in the very beginning, and I tried Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl as well, but I didn't really have the drive to continue playing either. A few quick matches is also pretty fun, but haven't really touched that game in a while. So most of my POV before playing is, what will this game offer that I can't get with Smash? And I will answer this question as we go on. Furthermore, I will point out that this game is still in development, with more to come. The dev team trusted me with full freedom to do an honest review, and I'm not going to blindly hype up this game only for the sake of glazing them. I'll provide what I like, along with constructive feedback, as good feedback helps the design process for the team. With all that being said, let's start off by saying that the music in this game is really good. It has a more retro feel that's reminiscent of Third Strike and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is a nostalgia that I appreciate a lot. If the game sounds bad and the music sucks, it's really hard to grind out matches. That's not the case here for Combo Devils, so great job on the sound design and music side of this game. Okay, gameplay wise, let's talk about all the new mechanics first. Combo Devils introduces a directional shield compared to Smash's bubble shield. I love this change, as it forces the defender to be more engaged in blocking, which pulls from traditional fighters where you have to worry about high and low blocks, as well as cross-ups. Additionally, you have a shield meter here, which is your limited resource for stuff like rolling and air dodging. This makes spot dodge spammers quiver in fear, and I think this is also a nice change by making your evasive options feel more intentional, rather than buffering a spot dodge after whiffing a move to hope that it works and that you're safe. Next up, you have an EX meter, which you can perform EX specials by burning 1 meter. As expected, the EX specials are much more enhanced than their regular variation, so the reward becomes much greater if you spend them wisely. And if you fill up the bar, you can spend all 3 meters to perform a super, destroying your opponents in a very flashy way. Buttons wise, you have light attacks, heavy attacks, and specials. With this higher complexity compared to Smash Ultimate, you can add more combo potential, such as launcher combos, reminding me a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You can also perform light or heavy attacks in the air, but something I think a lot of people will lab out is flash stepping. Once per air time, you can do an air dash for free, not an air dodge, an air dash. You can hit someone with any aerial, then flash step, aka air dash, to cancel it to extend your combo. This is most likely where the Combo Devils gets their name, as you could in theory get crazy amount of damage on your opponent. Now I'm sure you noticed it too, the percentage damage meter is nowhere to be found on the bottom here. Well, look up here, we have PSI in this game instead. This alone introduces an extremely interesting mechanic on different win conditions. You still have your classic knock your opponent into the blast zone, but with PSI, Punkzilla introduces 2 new ways to win. First off is overheating and the wall impact KOs. Basically, if you get launched with over 100 PSI, you have the overheat state. If you get slammed into a wall hard enough and you're in overheat, you blow up, losing a stock. And some stages in this game involve taller walls to utilize this mechanic. If they don't blow up, they can ricochet back into you and you could continue wailing on your opponent. If you reach 200 PSI, you just straight up become a dodgeball and then you blow up. With 3 main ways to win, I think that allows for more creativity when playing a match. I still like edgeguarding a lot, so I'll still go for those, but once the PSI rises enough, I could prioritize knocking them into a wall. From a coach perspective, I like how this forces players to think of stage positioning way more now, with the ability to use walls strategically. Combo Devils also brings back some melee movements with wave dashes, moonwalking, and sticky walking, along with familiar movement from wall sliding and wall jumping. With all these changes being said, I do appreciate all of these innovations to help push the platform fighter genre, and the inspirations from traditional fighters are done here in good taste. It's been executed in a creative manner, and it's clear as day that the team put a lot of thought and effort into implementing these changes. However, one piece of feedback that I will give is to add a tip section in this game, so that people can quickly figure out the different techniques and mechanics in this game. I'm sure there's stuff that I missed on explaining, and stuff that I don't even know how to do without looking it up, so a tips and tricks section would make the game a lot more accessible. I'm not sure if a platform fighter player would know what the Rekka is, and I'm not sure if a traditional fighter player would know what a wave bounce is. That Venn diagram of techniques doesn't have much overlap, so being the bridge between the two makes it your responsibility to be able to explain which is which. It's a ton of information too, I get it, but if you have the time and resources, I think having a tips and tricks section will be phenomenally helpful for this game. If you're enjoying the video, please remember to like and subscribe as it truly does support the channel. Thank you, and let's get back to the video. Alright, in this Kickstarter build we have 4 main modes: Local Versus, Online, Roguelite, and Target Test. Starting with Versus, we currently have access to 4 playable characters. Jingo, the rushdown animal with many ninja tools, Shy, the stylish skater with a DBD skill check, Akane, the distance demon with her pet Sochi, and Achilles, who I don't really know who he is, but he's kinda like a mix between Incineroar and Captain Falcon. I tended to gravitate towards Akane the most, but I also like Shy. The game does feel good, and there's a lot of room for customizing controls, which is great. After getting dunked on by the CPUs countless times, I started to implement my own sick combos and realized how much depth this game can have. So many options, but nothing feels too spammy or too overly safe. Everything feels crisp and intentional. This could be in part to a knowledge gap and there's things that I just don't know about, but we're starting off strong. They do have other characters planned for the future, but there's no cat. Where's the cat, Punkzilla? I want to see my cat as a playable character. Look at him, he's grinding combo devils with me. I did manage to get to play the online mode, and oh boy, I got rocked. Despite getting bodied every game, I had a blast seeing the combo potential of every character. The online mode felt just like offline, with a couple visual stutters here and there, but with the use of rollback netcode, it felt really good to play online. Of course there's a couple bugs, but I still managed to have a fun time. There's just so much to learn in this game. Before we get into the more PvE elements of this game, I want to bring up one big feedback that I think will help the Combo Devils team a lot, which is having a combo trial system with each character, similar to the Street Fighter series to help teach newer players some bread and butter combos. These combos generally aren't the most optimal, but I think providing players with a bit of a starter's guide for combo routes can make the learning curve a bit easier on the user. The combos look awesome, but it would be nice to know how to do some of these combos without having to independently lab or do external research. The Roguelite mode is something I was really excited for, as the dev team drew a lot of inspiration from Streets of Rage, Brawl, Kirby's Air Ride, and Risk of Rain. It is a work in progress, but the mode was relatively fun and simple. Beat up enemies, collect rewards, and unlock upgrades, and fight a big bad. It was really great to play, but as expected there were some hiccups. From the door being behind the wall and over the upgrade machine, and the game just crashing on me during the boss fight, but I'm confident the team will fix those later. The few upgrades I saw were neat, and although I didn't see much, it seems like most of the items are general upgrades, which is cool and all, but I would like to see items that are more specialized or have more synergy with other items, rather than just a you get this new ability or you get bigger. Now, I can be completely off the mark, and in reality, there are items like this, I just didn't see them during my playthrough. One aspect that makes roguelikes appealing to me is seeing how different items can interact with one another, and I'll use Risk of Rain 2 as an example. Take the Squid Polo. Interacting with something summons a turret, which isn't that good on its own because it's hard to have an interactable thing on command for a boss fight. Now with another seemingly bad item, the Remote Caffeinator, where you summon an interactive vending machine to heal, you now have on-demand turrets for yourself, which makes for a very funny synergy. Stuff like that makes roguelikes fun, and I fear that if there's only general buff items in Combo Devil's Roguelite, that would get stale really quickly. I'm hoping that I'm wrong on this and there are cool item synergies, but that's just my feedback here. Lastly is Target Break, a mode that I clearly missed from the good old days, lost to time. Each character has their own unique Target Break level, and although Jingo has a whole dojo, everyone else gets the training mode treatment, which is fine, whatever, I get it. I think this mode has a lot of potential speedrunning wise, as combining certain tricks to optimize each character's route and movement can be very interesting. Because I like Akane the most, I put the most effort into her target test, and I managed to get a pretty impressive score, getting 3rd place, apparently beating a dev at the time of this recording. I don't have much feedback here, I just really appreciate that they added this. Oh my god. Overall, Combo Devils does manage to stand out to be its own game, rather than an effort to shamelessly mimic other platform fighters. From the soundtrack to the mechanics, the characters to the game modes, each aspect had a lot of insight from all the different fighters before this. This game is geared to be a more PvP competitive game, but it also offers more PvE modes as a nice balance for both tryhards and casuals alike. From this early access, I can tell that the devs kept their promise on what they want to put out, and you too can become a Combo Devil. The main points of feedback that I think will benefit the game is to add a tips and tricks section to go over all the different techniques drawn from both platform fighters and traditional fighters, add a combo trial mode to assist newer players learn different combo routes for each character, try more synergy based items or just silly items in general for the roguelite mode, and to add my cat as a playable character because he deserves it. If Jingle the dog can be playable, Oreo the cat can work too.